All right, thanks, guys. The Cavaliers take on the Celtics, 4 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that matchup. The Celtics are the 13.5-point favorite, total at 217. Now, we saw a half a point fade of Boston and movement upward on the total. The Celtics opened 14 down to minus 13.5. Total opened 216 up to 217. 65% of the consensus are leaning toward Boston. 66% shaded toward the over. Right now, Cleveland is plus 750 on the money line. Now, Larry Nance is listed as questionable for the Cavs, but despite that, they've won their last 3 straight games. They're also 4-3 against the spread in their last 7. They rank in the top 10 in defensive rebounding. Meanwhile, Colin Sexton is averaging 18 points a game, 3 rebounds. Kevin Love, 16 points a game, 11 boards for him. And Tristan Thompson, 13 points a game, 10 rebounds for the Cavaliers. Now, Boston on the other side, believe it or not, they rank in the bottom 10 in home offensive rebounding. Marcus Smart is also listed as questionable for tonight's action. Now, total-wise, Boston 5-4 to the under in their last 9, 7-6 to the under at the Garden. Meanwhile, Cleveland 2-1 to the under in their last 3 themselves. I'm going to purchase the half a point, buy it up, and take Cleveland plus 14 and the under 217 in that game. Next matchup, 76ers taking on the Magic, 7 o'clock Orlando. The Sixers are 2.5, total 209 and a hook. We saw a 1-point fade of Philadelphia and movement upward on the total. The Sixers open 3.5 down to minus 2.5, total open 209 up to 209 and a hook. 68% are leaning Philadelphia, 74% toward the over. Orlando's plus $1.30 on the money line. They've also dropped 6 out of their last 8 games. 2-5 against the spread in Orlando's last 7 as well. They're just 13-17 overall for the year, 5-10 against the spread at home. They rank in the bottom 5 in scoring, bottom 10 in offensive field goal percentage. They're also averaging just 102 points per contest on their home court. And out of Orlando's 30 games played this year, they've successfully covered the point spread in just 12 of them. Now, Philadelphia on the other side, they're right in the middle of a 3-game winning streak. They're 3-0 against the spread in those 3 as well. They rank in the top 3 in offensive field goal percentage, top 10 in offensive rebounding. They're just a half a game back for first place in the division, 23-10 overall for the year. They rank in the top 5 in offensive 3-point percentage, top 3 in defensive rebounding. Joel Embiid's averaging 23 points a game, 13 rebounds. Tobias Harris, 20 points a game, 7 boards for him. And Josh Richardson, 15 points a game, 4 rebounds for the Sixers. Philly ranks in the top 5 in offensive field goal percentage, top 3 in defensive rebounding on the road. Now the Sixers are 80% to the over in their last 10. Orlando 5-1 to the over in their last 6 themselves. I'm going to purchase the half a point, slide it down, and take Philadelphia minus 2 and the over 209.5 in that game. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines of personal leans out for Friday's NBA action. But before we dive into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where we do daily premium picks on that website at just $1.99 per month. We also have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. And if you want to check out my current Patreon record, you can do that for free right now. It's right on the homepage. All you have to do is click the link in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some more free lines and personal leans right here on YouTube. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got OKC taking on Charlotte, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in the Queen City. OKC's minus 4.5, total 210 and a hook. We saw a half a point fade of the Thunder and movement upward on the total. OKC opened 5 down to 4.5, total open 210 up to 210 and a hook. 53% are leaning Charlotte, 56% toward the over. Right now the Hornets are plus 165 on the money line. Charlotte's 6-2 against the spread in their last 8. They're also 9-7 against the spread at home this year. They rank in the top 10 in home offensive 3-point percentage, top 10 in home defensive rebounding. Devontae Graham's averaging 19 points a game, 8 assists. Terry Rozier, 17 points a game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists as well. And Miles Bridges, 12 points a game, 5 rebounds on average for the Hornets. Now OKC, Danilo Gallinari's still out, Diallo's still out indefinitely as well. Thunder also failed to cover in 4 out of their last 6. OKC's 4-9 straight up when traveling this year. They're in the bottom 10 in offensive rebounding, bottom 5 in road scoring. Now, 5 out of OKC's last 6 games did get over the total. Charlotte 3-1 to the over in their last 4 themselves. I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take the Hornets +5 at home in the over 210.5 in that contest. Next game, it is going to be Milwaukee taking on the Hawks, 7:30 Atlanta. Milwaukee's 11.5, total 237. Half a point fade of Milwaukee, movement upward on the total. Bucks open 12, down to -11.5, total open 236.5, up to 237. 71% are leaning Bucks, 61% toward the under. Right now, the Hawks are +565 on the money line. Alex Len is listed as doubtful for the Hawks. Jabari Parker is questionable. Atlanta's just 6-25 overall for the year, 16.5 games back in the Southeast Division. They're ranking the bottom 3 in three-point shooting, bottom 5 in offensive rebounding. They're right in the middle of an 8-game losing streak, 2-6 against the spread in those 8. They're ranking the bottom 5 in points allowed, bottom 10 in defensive rebounding. They've dropped 11 out of their 14 games at home this year. Now, Milwaukee on the other side, 8-2 straight up in their last 10. They've also successfully covered the point spread in 70% out of those 10 games. They're 12-3 on the road, first in scoring. Just keep in mind, Bledsoe is still out, definitely. 5 out of Milwaukee's last 8 got over the number. Atlanta 70% to the over in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean Milwaukee -11.5 in the over 237 in that contest. Next game, Pacers, Heat, 8 o'clock Miami. The Heat are the 4.5 point favorite, total at 211.5. We saw a half a point fade of Miami and movement downward on the total. The Heat open 5, down to 4.5. Total open 213, down to 211.5. 54% are leaning Miami, 87% toward the over. Right now, the Pacers are +170 on the money line. Now, Malcolm Brogdon still listed as questionable for Indiana. The Pacers have failed to cover the point spread in their last 2 straight. They're ranking the bottom 10 in offensive rebounding on the road, 7-7 straight up away from home. Miami on the other side, 7-2 straight up in their last 9, 5-2 against the spread in their last 7. They're ranking the top 10 in scoring, top 5 in offensive field goal percentage. They're in first place in the Southeast Division, obviously. They are 22-8 overall for the year. Jimmy Butler's averaging 20 points a game, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals. Kendrick Nunn, 16 points a game, 4 assists. And Bam Adebayo, he's averaging double-digit rebounds on the year. 16 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists for him. Miami ranks in the top 3 in offensive three-point percentage, top 3 in defensive rebounding. They're also 7-1 to the over in their last 8, 9-5 to the over at home. Meanwhile, 2 out of Indiana's last 3 got over the total as well. I'm going to purchase the hook, slide it down, and take Miami -4 in the over 211.5 in that game. Next and final matchup for the show, it is going to be Suns, Warriors, 10:30 Golden State. The Suns are the 3-point favorite on the road, total at 224. We saw a half a point move toward Phoenix and movement upward on the total. The Suns open 2.5 up to -3. Total open 222.5 up to 224. 57% are leaning Golden State, 66% toward the under. Right now the Warriors are +$1.30 on the money line. Golden State 3-0 straight up in their last 3. 3-0 against the spread in those trio of ball games. Eric Pascal has been upgraded to questionable, so we could see him in action tonight. Now, Golden State ranks in the top 3 in free throw percentage. They have successful covers over the likes of Houston, Minnesota, and Utah as of late. D'Angelo Russell, 22 points a game, 6 assists. Alec Burks, 16 points a game, 5 rebounds. And, of course, the man who is questionable for tonight, Eric Pascal, 15 points a game, 5 rebounds for him. Now, the Suns on the other side, ice cold right now, losers of their last 7 straight. They're just 2-5 against the spread in those 7. They're ranking the bottom 10 in offensive rebounding, bottom 10 in points allowed. They're just 11-19 straight up overall for the year. 12.5 games back in the Pacific Division. They rank in the bottom 3 in defensive field goal percentage, bottom 10 in points allowed on the road. Now, total-wise, Phoenix is 3-0 to the over in their last trio of ball games. I'm going to lean toward the home dog in this one. Give me Golden State +3 and the over 224 in that game. All right, let's go ahead and dive into our quick pick recap. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we do daily premium picks on that website, beginning at just $1.99 per month. I like Golden State +3 over 224. Miami -4 over 211.5. Milwaukee -11.5 over 237. Philadelphia -2 over 209.5. Charlotte +5 over 210.5. And last but certainly not least, I like Cleveland +14 and the under 217 in that contest. All right, let's go ahead and dive into our shout-outs. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage. Shout out to Philly Scorpio, Samir Yarbo, Abdul Isahaku, Dave Gott, Shah N, Jake Bobby 305. Shout out to Lloyd Parker, Wyclef Isaboki from Kenya. Shout out to DK Smash, Joe Me the Money, Beamer Ball 4420, New Era 1. Shout out to Vernon Williard, Kevin M, Ephraim Corpus, Jill Bourne Julian. And last but certainly not least, shout out to Thomas Blake. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on Patreon, where once again we do daily premium picks on that site, beginning at just $1.99 per month. We have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. And if you want to check out my current Patreon record, you can do that for free right now. It is right on the homepage. All you got to do is click the link in the description section below. Once again, that is patreon.com/BrockPage. All right, let's go ahead and dive into our Spanish edition, also known as Edición en Español. Yo tengo Golden State con puntos y las altas. Miami con, let's try that again. Miami -4 y las altas. Milwaukee -11.5 y las altas. Philadelphia -2 y las altas. Charlotte con puntos y las altas. Y final Cleveland con puntos y los bajos. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Friday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you on patreon.com/BrockPage.